Sarah Riley, NMLS 18007, and Patricia Johnson, NMLS 583004. Caliber Home Loans Incorporated, NMLS ID number 15622. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Information, rates, and programs are subject to change without prior notice. All products are subject to credit and property approval. Not all products are available in all states for all dollar amounts. Other restrictions and limitations apply.
Hi, and welcome to Financial Fitness Northwest, coming at you live on 1150 KKNW. I'm your host, Sarah Riley.
And I'm your co-host, Patricia Johnson. We're the Riley Johnson team.
Good afternoon, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's our goal to help people navigate the mortgage and real estate market with expert advice from knowledgeable and trustworthy industry professionals. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned investor, we can help.
We strongly believe in giving back and empowering our community, and it is our hope to provide our listeners with local charities and business to bring solutions to your daily life and provide you with the opportunity to give back to your community as well.
That's right. Well, today's a great show. We have some really neat guests in studio. But first of all, let's talk about what's going on this week. I mean, it's Memorial Day weekend.
It is Memorial Day.
Yeah.
The kickoff of summer unofficially, but that's what everybody thinks, right?
Right. It's like the first camping trip, the first, little mini vacay. Right?
And we're actually going to have sun, so that's really exciting.
Right. So are you going anywhere?
Yes, we are.
I already know that. She's
knows.
my mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that. But
yep, we're going to head east to the mountains.
We're not.
No.
We're not going anywhere because we decided it would be a really good idea to coach T-ball for 2 T-ball teams, and therefore we're home every Saturday until July 1st.
It's fun, though.
Oh, it's tons of fun.
Actually, I think it's really exciting because Peyton now is coach pitch. So that's like a whole different element. Like they actually get out.
They do. They do get out. They don't keep score still.
Everybody wins.
Everybody's a winner, but they do get out, and they get pitched too. So
yeah, and if they don't make it to first base in time,
they get 7 pitches. And if you don't hit it, then the tee comes out.
Wouldn't that be cool if we could get 7 chances to do it right?
Oh my goodness.
Man.
That'd be like a game changer.
Be like rock stars all the time.
No, that's not the case. But actually, Peyton's really good. She's one of our best batters.
I know.
She's like first pitch almost every single time.
I know.
Watch out for that girl. I got a T-shirt made that says, "I only raise ballers." I'm going to wear an honorary coach shirt. I'm not the coach, but we are sponsoring the team, right, Mom?
Yeah, we are.
Riley
Johnson team is the sponsor of both teams, so that's pretty
right.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So kicking off on Memorial Day weekend, we thought, let's talk about some things you might not know about Memorial Day. Some facts that I have found on the interweb. So first of all, I don't think this will be any surprise to you, but it is the second biggest grilling day of the year next to 4th of July. So 56% of Americans will fire up their grills. As for the other 44%, well, someone has to bring the beer. So everyone's barbecuing and drinking beer on Memorial Day.
Yeah. I know. I always find that interesting because we are, and I know you are too, pretty much a grilling family year round.
Yeah. Even rain or shine.
Yeah. My poor husband's out there in the pouring rain, grilling on the grill. So
well, you need to give him like a cover.
I know.
I bought Randy the cover over his barbecue, so at least he stays dry.
I know. I should do that.
Yeah. Well, Father's Day is coming up.
Yes, it is. It is. So anyway, yeah, it's a great holiday. Most importantly, it's a federal holiday. Actually became official in 1971 to honor men and women in our armed forces who gave their lives for our country. So it's I have a personal fact that you might not really realize, but growing up, it was every Memorial Day with my parents. We were out going to every cemetery.
Really?
It was in Spokane, putting flowers on the graves. That's what you do on Memorial Day. And
wow,
it's kind of I feel like the tradition has slipped away. We were just talking about this when we were home for Bloomsday weekend, a couple beginning of the month. And so I actually both my parents, Sarah's grandparents, have passed, and so I went and put flowers on their graves that weekend.
You did?
I did, and my grandparents, your great grandparents, are right there too, and so we put flowers on their graves. But But yeah, every Memorial Day, that was the thing. We would go around, everybody that was buried would get flowers on their grave that day.
Well, that's how it started. I was reading that. So it actually, first became a holiday in 1864. It was called Decorating Day. And because people would go decorate the graves, that's how it started. And you put flowers and flags and wreaths on the graves of people that have served our country and are no longer here.
And your grandfather is a vet. He's a veteran, and the cemetery is so beautiful on Memorial Day. My brother, who lives there, takes a picture, and they have all the flags out, and it's really a beautiful sight.
Wow. I did not know that.
I know.
About you, Mom. I learned something. Also, I found out that Congress has also established an exact minute of remembrance, and Major League Baseball games usually come to a stop during that moment of remembrance. I didn't know that either. So...
Did not know. I must not have been at a baseball game.
No, I don't think so, because we're always over in Eastern Washington.
Yes.
Yeah. But, it's red, white, and blue today at Spirit Day at school. Peyton's representing in her, spirit gear to represent Memorial Day. And because she goes to a private Christian school, so they do a little extra honoring. They do a big thing for Veterans Day, and I really think that's important, and I love that they do that. And she loves it. She doesn't have to wear a uniform today.
Yeah, mostly, right? She gets to wear real clothes, so that's
really
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so, well, we're so excited for the guests that we have today in studio. First up, after we come back from commercial, we have Jeremiah Job with Financial Advisors. He's the owner of Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors, who will be discussing good financial habits for our children, which I'm really excited to talk about. And then on the second half of today's show, we have Gabe of Gabe's Foundation of Hope sharing with us his story about the foundation, how he started to give back to families dealing with disabilities. So if you want to find out about any topics discussed or learn more about guests we have in studio, you can find us online at www.financialfitnessnw.com.
Are you intimidated by the seller's market we're in and unsure how to secure a home in a multiple offer situation? The Riley Johnson team with Caliber Home Loans has helped hundreds of buyers successfully secure the property of their dreams, even in this challenging market. A pre-approval letter from the Riley Johnson team carries more weight because we have the reputation of closing loans quickly with our state-of-the-art technology known as the ultimate home buying experience. To learn more about our premier service and technology to help you secure the home of your dreams, contact us today at Riley Johnson Team at CaliberHomeLoans.com or visit our website at RileyJohnsonTeam.com. Sarah Riley, NMLS 18007, and Patricia Johnson, NMLS 583004. Caliber Home Loans Incorporated, NMLS ID number 15622. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Information, rates, and programs are subject to change without prior notice. All products are subject to credit and property approval. Not all products are available in all states for all dollar amounts. Other restrictions and limitations apply.
Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors is a local independent comprehensive financial planning firm, partnering with clients to help them achieve their retirement goals, funding their children's education, providing insurance and risk management solutions, and managing investments. If you're starting a family or a new career, already an established professional, or approaching retirement, we have the experience and expertise to develop a customized roadmap for you to achieve your goals. Come partner with us. Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors. Local, independent partners in planning. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call us at 206-701-9196 or visit us at our website at www.columbiaswa.com. Registered representative of and securities and investment advisory services offered exclusively through Horner, Townsend and Kent Incorporated, HTK, a registered investment advisor, member of FINRA, SIPC. Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors is independent of and unaffiliated with HTK.
No other station delivers this much variety. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back. You're tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest live on 1150 KKNW, where we help you navigate the mortgage and real estate market with expert advice from knowledgeable and trustworthy industry professionals. And next on our show, we are excited to welcome Jeremiah Job. Is a financial advisor and owner of Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors. He currently holds 2 designations in the area of advanced financial planning from the American College of Financial Services, chartered financial consultant, and retirement income certified professional. His focus is on building long-lasting relationships with clients by listening to their goals, putting their needs first, and working with them to develop comprehensive, flexible plans to realize their short, medium, and long-term goals. His clients are primarily professionals and their families in the medical and tech industries, pre-retirees and current retirees. However, he works with clients from all backgrounds and stages of life. Welcome, Jeremiah.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you. And I'm really excited about the topic that you're discussing today because, it rings true with me and my family. So a lot of our listeners are parents and mostly moms out there who, like me, might be wondering, what's, good financial habits that we can start teaching our kids now, even, our youngsters.
Well, that's a great question, Sarah. And it's one that I get actually quite often from a lot of my clients. Many of us had very little experience growing up with how to manage money or set goals, aside from having an allowance that we got for doing chores around the house. So it might be difficult for us to think, how do we teach our kids good financial habits so they don't have to go through a lot of the trials and errors and mistakes that we did as young adults?
Right.
So the first thing that I would say is that think about what type of values would you like to instill in your children. So we all have different backgrounds that we were raised from, and so certain things might be more important to us than others. So is it you want to teach them budgeting and saving, or just the value of earning a dollar? Hard work gets you an income. And the second thing is, I would say keep it simple. Don't try and overcomplicate things. We don't want it to be more like a chore. They're
Right.
probably going to be doing some chores of some kind to earn an income. We don't want to make the whole exercise feel like a chore. So try and keep it simple. Maybe only do like 2 or 3 things at a time, like different types of exercises for them. Especially for younger children, you'll want to make it fun to keep them engaged. For a little bit older children, you may want to incentivize them a little bit more, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. So like with my kids, they're 7, 4. Well, my 1-year-old doesn't
5.
get allowance. Oh, 5. I'm sorry. She just turned 5. So 7 and 5. And we just have like these cute little mason jars, and they say on them, give, spend, save. And so, they get $10. They know they're going to put $2 in savings, and they're going to put $1 in giving. And then if they can put the other money in spending. And so they just know they always have to save at least 20%. They're not spending money anywhere, but it just teaches them, and it's fun because they get to put it in their little jars. So, that's how we do it.
Yeah, and that actually aligns perfectly with how I would recommend it. Like for younger children, it's really up to how a child earns their allowance is really up to the parents. There's a number of different ways how they could earn an allowance. It could be chores around the house, helping out siblings. It could be acts of kindness or charity. It could be good grades. It's really up to the parent to decide that. And once the parent decides, how they're going to earn their allowance, how much it's going to be, and how frequently they're going to receive it, then you want to start talking about how do you save. So you want to make it exciting for the your son or daughter, and exactly how you described it is a good way to start. So either having some type of bank or piggy bank or something that has multiple different sections for different goals, or to have containers or jars that are segregated for specific goals as well. For example, giving. Maybe there's some new toy or video game or something that they want.
Right.
And then maybe a section for discretionary spending, like you take them to the store once a month and, let them go shopping, something like that. That'll help incentivize them to want to put money in there. And it also might be helpful to put a picture of whatever it is that they're saving for on there.
Visual goal, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that way, every time they put money in there, they know what they're saving money for, and it might re-energize them a little bit.
How about so teenagers? I mean, maybe when they're getting close to getting to the point of driving, or there's probably a lot of different things you can do around that to gear it more toward those teenage years.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the same concepts will apply. It's just that as you get to your kids get older into their teens, you might want to start introducing some real world concepts to help get them ready for the real world. And if it allows with their schedule with school and other activities, I'd recommend them getting a part-time job if they're able to. It's not going to work for everybody, but
I recommend that.
If they're able to, it will help them learn how to actually earn an income and start introducing them into the concepts, for what they're going to need when they get older.
Like paying taxes, because they don't have to do that with their allowance.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And before you even get into letting your child take a job, you'll want to have a conversation about, okay, what's this money going to be used for? Are you just trying to have extra spending cash? Are you saving for something? Are they going to be saving for a car? And then also, what expenses are they going to be responsible for if they do take on a job? Are they going to have to pay for their own gas if they are driving? Are they going to pay for part of their insurance? Are they going to be saving for that select soccer camp they want to go to, or whatever it might be? So have that conversation with your kids beforehand so they know what this income is going to be used for, and having conversations like about taxes, how if you earn $100, you probably aren't going to get to keep all of that. The government's going to take some of that. But also introduce the concept of paying yourself first, and that gets into the savings idea, and that is before you even spend money on expenses, you're taking either a flat dollar amount or percentage of what you're making, and you're putting that away for some type of future goal or future savings. And that's a habit that a lot of us don't learn until later in life. And so teaching children that earlier can help them become better savers in the future.
So maybe even like sitting down and doing a budget with them, if they have a job, and going over like what their expenses are, and so they can plan for so when they go to get gas, they actually have money to get it, because when I was a kid, and you could put a couple dollars in yours and get somewhere. You could get home for sure. Yeah. That's not the case anymore. So you have to really plan so that you have the money to pay for your gas and pay for your insurance. And just like anyone has to budget, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Going through and creating a budget, like estimating what some of their expenses might be, estimating what their income's going to be, how frequently they get paid, so that they can understand that, well, if they spend more now, they might have to scrimp a little bit later. And then one other thing, like to help encourage savings for the future, is there may be some long-term goals that you as a parent you want to support. You want to incentivize them, and that could be saving for a car. It could be helping them save for, like I said, some type of activity, soccer camp. Could even be college. Maybe offer to do some matching contributions. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Match like dollar for dollar towards some goal. And then, kids like to be praised. They like to feel like they have, accomplished something important. And so make sure to offer praise when they do achieve these various goals as well.
Yeah, I like the dollar for dollar too. And, I'm even as they're getting paid, like once a month, if you went in and match what they'd save, so they can see their account growing quicker than waiting until they've saved all the money and then matching it. I mean, that's exciting. Like, oh my gosh, now I have $200, but they're seeing it grow quicker.
Yeah.
Right. So it
sort of like
makes them want to save more.
Yeah, like an in-house 401k. You're matching funds.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
With teens, there's two other things I'd like to more real world concepts that I'd like to touch base on, and that really is. A piggy bank's probably not going to be an appropriate savings vehicle for a teenager. That's not cool.
Right.
So either a joint savings account with your teen or an early savers account, so they can start learning how to use an ATM card, how to go to the bank. Teens nowadays they have technology, right? So they can pull up their account balances on their cell phones if they have phones, or their iPods or whatever it might be, and check their balances on their apps, and they can even set up alerts as their balance goes up, so it can help incentivize them that way, but also still introduce them to those types of concepts. And the other concept is managing credit, which is something, unfortunately, a lot of younger people get in trouble with.
Yeah.
And so you might not necessarily want to open a credit card with your teenager, but introducing something like a prepaid credit card would be a great option, where it's either pre-funded by you or your teen, but you still treat it like a normal credit card, where, if they spend some money off it, they have to pay it back. And within a certain period of time, they may have an interest rate. And so outline some of those various concepts. Again, don't throw all these at your teen all at once, but maybe introduce these as they get the grasp of some of these other concepts as well.
I like that, because then they're building credit early.
Exactly. I like that too, because credit, that is a concern. I mean, they want to have positive credit, obviously, but it's a good way to start. I know I got my first credit card when I was 16. I got a Nordstrom's card, and I had a $300 limit on there. And
that's a lot way back then.
Way back then it was, but I was always good and would buy something once in a while and pay it off. But I started my credit, pretty early. Yeah, I know.
You're very responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's great. And then they have good credit, which is sometimes an issue when, first-time home buyers come in, they're young and in their 20s, and you have to have so many established different accounts, and they don't, because mom and dad have just been paying everything to the detriment of the child, just paying all their stuff for them, and they haven't learned, and also they haven't established any credit. So I like that. That's great.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us to the next stage of life for your child, is that's, moving off to college. And so, we have to, once they leave for college, they're kind of out on their own. And so instilling some of these good financial habits before they leave is important. And for some of those older young adults, when they leave, you'll want to sit down with them before they leave, actually, and go through a basic budget with them as well. So understand when's income going to be coming in for them, what type of expenses are they going to have while they're away at school, and who's going to be responsible for those expenses. Is it going to be you? Is it going to be your son or daughter? Are they going to be working part-time while they're in college, or is there going to be a form of income coming in? And understand all those things before they leave to go to school.
I would think that a new college kid is going to have sort of a stricter budget, especially if they're getting funding from parents. They're not probably working a lot, and if they're just have their little card and they're just charging their food, they don't even realize it's adding up. It adds up really quickly. So that's really important, I'm sure, to sit down and budget with them. I mean, Thomas went through this. I mean, he's super responsible, but did you guys talk to him about a budget? He's my stepbrother.
Yeah, no, I think that, there's definitely two schools of thought, and I think, some parents feel like the kids are getting the education and focusing on their grades. That is their main job, and maybe don't have a job outside, but to some degree, I think that that's a sort of a missed opportunity for kids not to learn more. I mean, they do, eventually they will have to learn it, so it's sort of just putting off the inevitable, so I think it's good to have your kids be responsible and learn some of those financial skills early on.
Certainly there's two trains of thought there, as you mentioned, where, one is you're learning these real life skills with interacting with fellow employees and earning a living, but then also you're there to learn. And so while you're at school, your job is to learn. So, there is a kind of a trade-off there where you're spending more time doing one versus the other.
Summer job, that's always good, right? Get the summer job and work on it then.
Yeah.
And that's certainly another alternative as well. And so, but if a child is going to work or have income coming in, you'll still want to have a conversation with them on who's responsible for what expenses. Also, if something comes up, how are they going to pay for it? Are they going to raise savings? Are they going to use credit? And that brings up another conversation with regards to credit. Once they go to college, there's going to be credit card offers flying in the door.
Yeah.
And so talking to them beforehand about, what are some good options with regards to credit. So one, they're going to want to look at a card that has low interest, probably start with a card with a relatively low balance so things don't get a little bit out of hand.
Right.
And then go through the terms. So understand that how are they going to pay this off? Are they going to just, if they put money on it, are they going to pay it off at the end of every month? If not, are they going to set up some type of automatic reoccurring payment where it at least pays off the minimum so they don't get hit with delinquency or late payment fees? And also, another component is you're going to want to have a way to either transfer money to your children or for your children to be able to save and have money available to them. So finding a bank that's going to be appropriate to them near their college, that's either going to have branches or ATMs nearby so that they have access to it. Either if a joint account, that might be appropriate so you can easily transfer money between the two of you, or a college saving or student account. Those types of accounts typically have very low or no fees. So that would be appropriate. Another thing also is that, especially people who are learning how to use bank accounts and may not understand all of the repercussions, I would recommend having some type of overdraft protection on a checking account. So it could be in the form of a savings account attached where it just automatically transfers some savings in, or potentially like a line of credit attached to it. That is a little bit more risky as, it will draw from a line of credit to cover any fees. It's important to understand that your college student understands that you have to pay that back off, and when money goes back in the account, it doesn't automatically pay it back off.
Well, it's probably why it's good to have the parents on the account too, because when they get those alerts saying, "Oh, you're getting close to your balance or you're overdrawn," everyone's getting those alerts because you're also on the account, so you can be calling your child.
Hey, what are you doing?
I see that you're at Target right now. You don't need that new dress. That will be my child, Reagan. I'm sure.
Isn't it kind of crazy that they don't teach that kind of stuff in school? I mean,
it is.
It's
kind of
such
blows my
like
mind.
important life skills. You learn all this stuff that you never use again to some degree, and then some really important things they don't even really touch on.
Yeah, why wouldn't you have? I mean, you have business classes in school. Why wouldn't you have like a finance class?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jeremiah, and sharing all this with us.
Thank you very much. It's very informative and hopefully helping a lot of parents out there with their children. So thank you for tuning in to Financial Fitness Northwest. When we come back from the break, we will have Gabe Murfitt sharing with us his story and the foundation he started to give back to families dealing with disabilities. To find out more about topics discussed on today's show, you can find us online at www.financialfitnessnw.com.
Are you intimidated by the seller's market we're in and unsure how to secure a home in a multiple offer situation? The Riley Johnson team with Caliber Home Loans has helped hundreds of buyers successfully secure the property of their dreams, even in this challenging market. A pre-approval letter from the Riley Johnson team carries more weight because we have the reputation of closing loans quickly with our state-of-the-art technology known as the ultimate home buying experience. To learn more about our premier service and technology to help you secure the home of your dreams, contact us today at Riley Johnson Team at CaliberHomeLoans.com or visit our website at RileyJohnsonTeam.com. Sarah Riley, NMLS 18007, and Patricia Johnson, NMLS 583004. Caliber Home Loans Incorporated, NMLS ID number 15622. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Information, rates, and programs are subject to change without prior notice. All products are subject to credit and property approval. Not all products are available in all states for all dollar amounts. Other restrictions and limitations apply.
Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors is a local independent comprehensive financial planning firm, partnering with clients to help them achieve their retirement goals, funding their children's education, providing insurance and risk management solutions, and managing investments. If you're starting a family or a new career, already an established professional, or approaching retirement, we have the experience and expertise to develop a customized roadmap for you to achieve your goals. Come partner with us. Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors, local, independent, partners in planning. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call us at 206-701-9196 or visit us at our website at www.columbiaswa.com. Registered representative of and securities and investment advisory services offered exclusively through Horner, Townsend and Kent Incorporated, HTK, a registered investment advisor, member of FINRA, SIPC. Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors is independent of and unaffiliated with HTK.
Find out the latest about your favorite shows on Alternative Talk 1150. Check out 1150kknw.com.
All right, you're tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest live on 1150 KKNW. We provide our listeners with information from businesses and professionals to bring solutions to your daily life, and local charities to provide you with the opportunities to give back to your community as well. Now in studio, we have Gabriel Murfitt with Gabe's Foundation of Hope. In 1990, Gabe was born with a severe congenital birth defects. He hasn't let that stop him. Gabe has written a book and has regular speaking engagements to share his story and uplift and empower others. He has an incredible message of hope. Gabe has been featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Good Morning America, King 5 News, Como 4 News, and the Seattle Times. His most recent message is titled Nothing is Out of Reach, where he shares with his audience about reaching for your goals and never giving up. Oh my gosh, so excited to have you here, Gabe.
Yeah, welcome, Gabe.
Yeah. So can you just kind of start off, tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm 27. I live in Alaska, down by Centralia and Chehalis, so
Okay.
tiny little town. And I travel around and I speak to schools mainly, but also to churches and businesses, just about reaching for your goals and how important it is to set goals, and also how important it is to not give up. You know, I've lived with a disability for my whole life, and it's been instilled in me to how important it is to just keep going no matter what. Because I was created for a reason. I'm 3'4" for a reason, and if I'm giving up, then I'm not living out my purpose. I'm not doing the things that I'm called to do. So just talking a lot about not giving up, and it's especially to high schoolers. It's so important that they understand that message. So
I can't imagine how powerful that is.
Yeah,
I mean, kids that think they have problems, right?
Yeah,
and then they meet you and they realize, is it pretty insignificant, probably.
Yeah, well, and it's just a lot of fun because of that. Kids that are in high school, they have a lot of issues to deal with, and I dealt with those same issues that were non-disability related.
Sure.
And you really do. You see how small they really are when it compares to some of the things that myself or other people in the disabled community go through. So
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, so tell us a little bit about the name of your foundation.
Yeah, so Gabriel's Foundation of Hope. My mom and dad are the ones that actually founded it, and it was they are kind of trying to figure out what to name it, and they used my name. And Hope actually is an acronym. It stands for Helping, Overcome, Persevere, and Encourage. And that foundation was just set up to basically do those four things for people in the disabled community, whether it's somebody that has a disability or their family members. Because, I think one of the biggest things, for me is my parents, just what they have to deal with, not only what I have to deal with, but what they do. And I have an older brother, and the same thing for him. So it's important that we come alongside families as well, so they can, see that there are people out there that are normal and can do this. And it's going to be hard, but you're going to be able to make it. So
That's so incredible. So I got to talk to your mom a lot and hear so many wonderful stories about you. So can you share with the listeners what happened that got you on the Oprah Winfrey Show, that whole story that took place, because it's just so amazing.
Yeah, so I was in 7th grade, and I wanted to play basketball on the regular team, and I came to my parents, and I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. And they were kind of like, you do know basketball is for tall people, right? And I said, well, I want to figure this out. And we went to the school, and they said that I could play. And my mom actually, she wrote to one of the local news stations, and she wanted to make it about the team and the coach and all that, and they decided to make it about me, and which we were okay with, and so I was on that show, and then I think Seattle Times, and then Good Morning America, and then I was throwing out the first pitch at the Mariners game.
Oh, wow.
And the receptionist was like, Oprah Winfrey is trying to get a hold of you. And we thought that was kind of a joke. And they're like, no, like they're actually trying to get a hold of you. And and so we were on the show, and I got to meet my sports hero, Cal Ripken Jr. He was on that. He surprised me on the show. And so,
Wow.
yeah, it was really cool. It was one of those things that, I was 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never in a day in my life ever would have imagined doing any of that stuff, because my parents always have taught me to, be just, I hate the word normal, but for lack of a better term, normal.
Mm-hmm.
I look different, but I'm not this like special, person. I'm just like everybody else. And so,
Special like everybody else.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And, so just, being on that show was a really cool experience. And, it's always fun to talk about, and hopefully maybe we'll get back on there again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's a 10-year anniversary of your foundation.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Is anything coming up or big stuff to celebrate that?
Yeah, so we're actually planning on having a fundraiser in November, right? And we're just it's going to showcase my speaking and to raise money for some of the things that we're trying to do with helping people financially. Some people that are needing money to do the things that they need to do, and that also the other side of our foundation is set up to kind of direct people down, I guess not direct people, but help them down the right path as far as where to get the certain resources that they need.
I was going to say it's probably could be like a full-time job, just navigating like different organizations and services that are available and figuring out what you have available to you, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things for us, it's such a new thing in your life. You don't know where to look for whatever services. And we were so grateful when people pointed us to that direction. So that's one of the things we want to do, that we do, is show people, how did Gabe get his van? How did Gabe get his computer? How did Gabe, get the things that he needed? And people will ask us, and we'll direct them in the right direction. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
one of our goals.
That's awesome. I'm sure that's
Yeah.
such a huge benefit, and also just being in a difficult situation and the stress and wanting to do the right thing as much as you can for your family, and that's probably so helpful.
One of my favorite parts about our foundation is to write encourage. That's the E in hope, the encourage, and to write encouraging cards to families that are struggling. Or Children's Hospital will call Steve and I to come when a new baby's born that's got physical birth defects like Gabe, and we'll meet with the parents and the grandparents and encourage them along the way. And Gabe's part of every year they have a limb deficiency clinic, and all these kids with unique limbs come together and have a blast, and
wow.
Gabe gets to participate in that. And so it's really for us a pay it forward thing, because we so benefited by people coming alongside of us, and that was our impetus for starting the foundation. Was, well, if these people came and helped us, then we want to help others.
Can you tell us a little bit about, because there's a story behind that, right? That people helped you
Yeah.
get Gabe's wheelchair.
When Gabe was 2, his doctor prescribed him an electric wheelchair, and insurance said, no, he's 2, he doesn't need that. And it was $18,000, and at the time, we didn't have $18,000, and I was at work. Actually, I worked for a mortgage software company, and the vice president of sales found me crying at my desk because I had just gotten off the phone with the insurance company. And she was like, what's going on? I said, well, they aren't going to pay for Gabe's chair. And she was like, not on my dime. They're not.
Wow.
So she started a trust fund for Gabe, and just put the word out to different people in the industry, friends, family. And within 2 months, we had enough money to buy Gabe's wheelchair and a van.
Wow.
And so we felt incredibly blessed that happened, and that we always said when that happened that we're going to pay this back somehow, because it's very humbling to take that kind of assistance. And Steve was able to actually get the insurance to pay part of it in the end, which was why we were able to buy the van. But it just has been such a blessing. And
Yeah, probably just came up right at the right time too, right?
Yeah, and it did prove that getting Gabe in a wheelchair at age 2 made him be able to go out into the cul-de-sac and play. It made him be able to be at a height of another child, to be able to converse eye to eye. It gave him, he gave kids rides on his wheelchair.
So
Got
he
in
was
trouble
like
for that a
the
couple times.
popular kid of the
Yeah,
cul-de-sac,
really.
it sounds
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
It's fun to
it
be
was
the cool kid.
Yeah, it just made a huge difference in his life, and that just was, the reason we started the foundation.
So, what is the biggest need for your foundation right now?
I think the biggest need is funds. There's so many people out there that are, sending us applications for grants. I think my mom goes to the post office, and we have at least 4 or 5 every week. And there's people out there that are just need, things that they're going to helping improve their life, help them become more independent. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is just donations to be able to, so that we can help that. And then another big need is for kind of me personally and our foundation, is my speaking, to really build that, because when schools pay me, 40% of what I make goes back into the foundation, so that we can continue to help people with disabilities. So, I'd say getting into the schools and encouraging them, because that's the other thing about going into schools. It's not just about encouraging them, but it's also showing them that somebody different is completely capable of doing everything that they can do. And so it helps the kids in their schools, the special ed kids that maybe aren't as involved in school. It really can kind of gets them involved, so they could say, hey, this kid's in a wheelchair, but he's capable of playing basketball on a regular team, or different things like that. So.
Right.
Isn't there like an exercise? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Isn't there an exercise that you do at one of your speaking where you bring the kids down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you tell us that?
Yeah. So at the end of my speech, I talk about my high school experience and how I was never actually bullied throughout my whole entire school experience. But when I was in high school, I was ignored. I felt like I was walking around the halls and I was invisible. And so this idea of nothing is out of reach is just talking about, yes, reaching for your goals, but also reaching out into your school and your community, and creating a community within your schools. One of the biggest things that schools deal with are cliques, groups that exclude people. And so what I try to do is I get the kids out on the floor, and I kind of show that to them. I get them in just like 6 kids in 2 groups of 3, and I said, this is what a clique looks like. A group that's excluding kids because they have blonde hair versus brown hair, or they're whatever. And then I have them come together as one group. And I say, this is what your school should look like. Whether you're white, brown, black, green, you're tall, short, whatever, you're all supposed to be here. And so then kind of the thing that I add to it is it's so funny. They always think this is the weirdest thing, but I always tell them to go back into the stands and grab one random person. So then they do that, and I ask them, I said, what's the difference with the circle? And well, it's bigger. And he said, yes. So then I go around the circle and I ask how many people the kids added. I'll point to the ones, and they said 1. I said, that's all it takes. All it takes is all you have to do is go out and reach one person, because that's the kind of impact you're going to have. It's just one person. Like the leadership kids in their schools, a lot of times they think, I got to reach the 2,000 kids in my school. That's a lot of kids to do, to reach in 180 days, to actually give them a compliment or a personal touch. But if the kids can focus on every day just going around and seeing one person, and it's not even kids, it's, adults, just going around and, just saying hi to somebody, shaking their hand, giving them a compliment. Because I had that happen to me a few times in high school, and I would go home and tell my parents, somebody saw me today. Somebody said something to me, and it was, something that it's important that kids just go out and reach out and create community. So
Wow, you're teaching them such good life lessons and just like character building. I
Well,
mean, how
yeah, and like you said, kids, anybody. It's like you don't
Anyone, yes.
realize, people don't realize what the little thing can make such a big difference in someone's life. Just smiling at somebody, saying hello to somebody. I mean, you have no idea what their day's like. You know, you don't know what effect you're going to have, and so it's such an amazing wave of positive things that can happen if we all just take your advice, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think what's really amazing is watching it happen at the assembly. Every assembly that I've been at with Gabe, and Steve's been at them too, the place, you just see the change in the kids where they're like, wow, it only took me to go get one person I don't know to impact the whole school. And at schools that are small enough, Gabe will get the entire group, the whole school onto the floor. But, some of the schools are too big to do that, but it's so, so powerful. The power of one.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
So you wrote a book,
Yeah.
Gabe. So tell us about that. What's your book on? You, right?
Yeah.
Good
So-
topic.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So before this, Nothing's Out of Reach, this new topic I have is barely even a year old. I came up with an acronym for the word CLEAR. It stands for Courage, Leadership, Endurance, Attitude, and Respect. And that's what I talked about for a good 5 or 6 years. And the title of the book is My Message is Clear. And it just talks about those 5 characteristics that I have had to learn, or I was taught, and had to use them in my life in order to, be successful. Having courage to play basketball, how important it is to be a leader to other people, and how important it is to have leaders in your life. Endurance is almost self-explanatory,
Yeah.
just enduring all the things that you go to, having a positive attitude that, those endurance and attitude, directly correlate. If you have a positive attitude, it's easier to endure. And then respect is just respecting each other, and most important, respecting yourself, how that you were, created to be who you are for a reason. You have too many kids going out and changing themselves because somebody tells them to, or they want to fit in, but it's, I'm a prime example of not doing that. My parents gave me that choice to have surgery and become taller, but I believe I was created to be this way, so I want to respect that. And so those are the 5 things that I talk about in my book, and just how I've been able to use those to grow and be successful in the 27 years I've been living, and planning on writing another one here in next year and a half or so. So trying to get started on that. But
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And you're engaged.
yes, I am.
You are. So you're happy. You're
Yeah.
doing well.
Yeah, we're getting married in 4 months. So
Wow.
September 23rd is our big day.
And how did you meet?
We actually met at a conference I was speaking at. It was a church conference over in Redmond, and her mom attended. And I like to tell people she just couldn't leave me alone because of my good looks. But
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's true.
yeah, no. But no, we kept talking, and she lived in Alaska while I lived up here, and so we weren't able to hang out with each other. And so about 6 months after us texting, I said, hey, I'm not really interested in dating your phone anymore, and so let's go to a Mariners game and meet or hang out. And so it's been fun. We've been dating for 4 years now, and so it's been really fun. It's one of those things where I wanted to get married really badly, and I wanted to start a family, but after I graduated from college, I wasn't sure if that was going to happen, and now it is. So it's the coolest, greatest thing I get to do. So I'm super excited.
Oh, we're so happy for you.
Yes, thank you.
That's
Thank you guys
amazing.
so much for coming on the show. We're going to have information on Gabe's foundation posted on our website so people can go there and give and help support you guys and what you guys are doing. So thank you so much for tuning in to Financial Fitness Northwest. When we come back, we're going to have the Riley Johnson Team Market Update. Today we're discussing renting versus owning in our current market.
Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors is a local independent comprehensive financial planning firm, partnering with clients to help them achieve their retirement goals, funding their children's education, providing insurance and risk management solutions, and managing investments. If you're starting a family or a new career, already an established professional, or approaching retirement, we have the experience and expertise to develop a customized roadmap for you to achieve your goals. Come partner with us. Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors, local, independent partners in planning. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call us at 206-701-9196 or visit us at our website at www.columbiaswa.com. Registered representative of and securities and investment advisory services offered exclusively through Horner, Townsend and Kent Incorporated, HTK, a registered investment advisor, member of FINRA, SIPC. Columbia Strategic Wealth Advisors is independent of and unaffiliated with HTK.
Are you intimidated by the seller's market we're in and unsure how to secure a home in a multiple offer situation? The Riley Johnson team with Caliber Home Loans has helped hundreds of buyers successfully secure the property of their dreams, even in this challenging market. A pre-approval letter from the Riley Johnson team carries more weight because we have the reputation of closing loans quickly with our state-of-the-art technology known as the ultimate home buying experience. To learn more about our premier service and technology to help you secure the home of your dreams, contact us today at Riley Johnson Team at CaliberHomeLoans.com or visit our website at RileyJohnsonTeam.com. Sarah Riley, NMLS 18007, and Patricia Johnson, NMLS 583004. Caliber Home Loans Incorporated, NMLS ID number 15622. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is not an offer to enter into an agreement. Not all customers will qualify. Information, rates, and programs are subject to change without prior notice. All products are subject to credit and property approval. Not all products are available in all states for all dollar amounts. Other restrictions and limitations apply.
Broaden your horizons. You'll be amazed at all the topics we cover on Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Financial Fitness Northwest, live on 1150 KKNW. It's now time for the Riley Johnson Team Market Update. We are going to discuss today the local economy and how your buying power can be affected by this market, and the possibility of owning a home versus renting a home.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's pretty amazing. I just read that in the first quarter this year, more Americans chose to purchase a home over signing a lease to rent, which that's the first time it's happened since 2006. So home ownership outpaced the number of renters. We're at like 70% home ownership versus renting.
Which is really good. I know that there's tons of apartments and things going up because there is such a lack of inventory for the amount of buyers out there.
Mm-hmm.
But
too bad they're not condos.
Yeah, I know. It is too bad they're not condos. But it's challenging right now because the rents in Seattle, we are the third highest increase in rental in rents in the country. We are the third highest, like almost 10% rents have gone up
over last year. Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's like compared to like, you know, a lot of other major cities. So it's really sad. I mean, people, I have a woman that was in my home buyer education class the week before last, and she was saying that she just got notified. She's looking to purchase a home, but she was just notified that her rent is going up. I think she was a South End, and she was paying like $1,600 for just a regular little apartment, and her rent was going up $400 a month.
Yeah. I just heard that too, someone else. And so it's just a common thread with these new home buyers. They're like, okay, my lease is up in August. I've got to get out because their rent is just going up so dramatically. Their mortgage is literally the same or less than the rent they're paying for like an apartment, and they're buying a house.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious. It may not be obvious to renters because maybe they can't think that they can't buy, but there's definitely options out there to qualify even if you don't have a down payment. But the beauty is that you are going to be so much further financially ahead with owning your own property.
Yeah. You're building wealth. You're building equity in your home. I mean, also, I was just thinking about this with the down payment assistance. Even if because there is down payment assistance for people, so you don't have to have a down payment in some situations, and even if you had to bring in your closing costs and prepaids, that's probably what you'd have to bring in for first month's rent and deposit.
Yeah, first, last, and deposit.
Literally costs you no more money to buy a house.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then when you consider, you have a tax write-off now, so you're saving there versus renting.
Yep. Taxes, definitely help at the end of the year. You can write off all the interest on your mortgage loan, so that's a big savings. And, when you calculate that out, sometimes people might think, oh, well, I can't afford the mortgage because it's going to be, maybe it's going to be $150 more a month or $200 more a month. But when you consider the tax benefit, it actually is no more money.
Right. You're possibly saving money a month. On top of, obviously, you are saving a lot of money because you're paying yourself in your mortgage versus paying a landlord in rent.
Exactly.
So, it's really interesting. I remember like a few years ago, there was a lot more renters than there was buyers. And so we put together like the rental analysis. Here's what it looks like if you rent versus if you bought, and really go through all the numbers with them. Now it's like staggering. Like put that together, it's crazy. It makes no sense to rent.
It doesn't. It makes no sense. There's absolutely no benefit. And I know those same numbers before were like, it's not that much stretch. You have to kind of educate people on the fact that, you can afford to spend a little bit more because of the benefit. But now with rents going so high, you literally can own for less money.
Right. Right.
know?
And own more.
For sure.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest. We hope you found the information valuable. To learn more about our show and the guests we had in studio, you can visit us online at www.financialfitnessandw.com. Please let us know if you have any questions about topics discussed or any suggestions for future topics. Talk to you next week.
Bye.